Okay, so the first card is the King of Coins. Interesting, in the reverse position. So at the heart of the matter is there is some situation that you are currently dealing with that you're not really sure how to proceed, okay? I'm reading this energy as you, male or female. It could be an energy that is external to you, but at the heart of the matter is that a lot of you might be dealing with another person of the earth element, or somebody that you know, usually in the past they are pretty stable, they are pretty reliable, but something is happening to them this week in which wires are crossed, so you don't really know how you want to proceed, okay? And at the same time, if this is not an external energy and this is within you, then I do sense that a little bit of hesitation, a little bit of waiting period is in the works for you, okay? What's crossing you here is the Ten of Cups, and the Ten of Cups deals with, you know, total emotional happiness, okay? So your sense of emotional happiness might be dependent upon the actions of another person. And I do feel that this person that you're dealing with is was somebody very reliable, and then there are some kinks in the works that need to be worked out between the two of you. There might be some communication problems as well, because it is Mercury in retrograde, so that could be causing it. So, you know, just above all else, be very careful, okay? In the recent past, I have the Page of Cups, and this situation itself is just kind of like it's a new energy, and it deals with somebody who is if we are looking at this situation from a relationship perspective, and relationship is not always love oriented or romantically inclined, okay? It can be all aspects of your life, all interpersonal relationships. What I am seeing here is it's somebody who promises and doesn't deliver, okay? And a page energy is they mean really well, but I don't feel that they have the capacity to deliver. So on a work front, you might have somebody that promises they'll help you, but when you know it actually comes down to it, they don't really have the time to help you. They don't have the resources. They don't have the knowledge. Okay, so it is important to, I guess, be self-reliant this week and not involve too many people in your endeavors, mainly because people can leave you hanging. I do feel they have the best intentions, and you know, whatever capacity they're you know them as, they are trying their best, but it's a young energy, so I don't feel that it is a very stable energy. In terms of what's coming in, we have the Temperance card, and once again, this energy is corroborating the other three cards in that it does indicate, you know, don't get rattled, and just be very patient with the other person because they mean well, okay? So at the heart of it, if someone means well and they just don't have the means, they don't have the freedom to really help you out, just don't be rattled. I do feel a lot of you are kind of like aware of this situation, and you've kind of like overlooked it many times, and you know things are coming to light this week, and you're just kind of like, I don't know if I should, you know, communicate with them anymore. I don't know if I want somebody like that in my life to complicate things for me in the future, but I don't feel it's the right time to make the decision yet, so don't get rattled. What's crowning you here is the Knight of Wands. So we have three court cards so far. The Knight of Wands in the reverse position is a fire sign, and this is a fiery energy. And what I sense here is, you know, if we are looking at this as an external as an external energy, what it does indicate is it's a somebody who might be a little bit flaky. It could also be somebody who exerts themselves or overextends their resources and themselves, their time in general. So as a result, they forget a lot of things, or they just don't have the ability to follow through. And all three of these court cards indicate to me that someone means well, but they've been kind of flaky, and you're going to be dealing with this situation. So it is best to not be rattled, but at the same time, after the Mercury in retrograde period, which is, it will end on June 11th, it is important to have a conversation and, you know, try to sort this out, all right? Because it is a repeated pattern, and it's something that can be fixed with a quick conversation because the person ultimately means well, okay? Something that you're not aware of here, we have the Queen of Swords. So in the reverse position too, yeah, so it's the same type of energy, okay? So I'm reading this as you, male or female as well. And this is a quick fix. A conversation needs to be had, and a little more discernment needs to happen from your end in terms of dealing with somebody in your environment who is like this, or dealing with an energy that is like this. Okay, so be a little bit more careful with this. But the best time to do this is after this Mercury in retrograde period, because I do feel that harsh words could be exchanged, which can blow things out of proportion. Okay, so keep calm about it. The Six of Coins here, yeah, it's so this is a card of service. It is also like a card of a helping hand. In the reverse position, I do feel again that someone makes promises they can't really help out, and from your end they're considered a flake, but ultimately I do feel that they just don't have the means to do it. So it is very, very important for you to be self-reliant for this week, and keep things into perspective for yourself, and really try to do things based on your own timeline, based on your own schedule, without having to accommodate another person, because ultimately they are going to be like flaky, and it is going to be frustrating, okay, more than anything. I feel that you have a very good sense of humor about this whole thing, so I don't feel that you're going to be rattled. But this is something that needs to be addressed too, okay? Because it is happening time and time again. So, step up to the plate and be the bigger person and get to the root of this problem. As for your external environment, I have the Nine of Wands. So, let me see here. The Nine of Wands in this deck, though, in the reverse position, it is somebody who is coming in from the external environment, okay? So this is outside of yourself. And what I do sense here, it is somebody who is kind of like their heart chakra is blocked, okay? So it's somebody who treads through life very, very lightly, and they lack introspection, they lack kind of like hindsight and foresight. So it's kind of like they're very muddled, they're kind of like I guess bouncing through life, and they're never like settled in one place long enough to really re-examine their themselves, re-examine their lives. So it's somebody who, I wouldn't say emotionally mature. They are capable of a lot of depth, and they have good insights about other people, but they don't really have good insights about themselves. It's mainly because they're bouncing around so much that they don't really have time to introspect, okay? So you are going to deal with somebody like this who can be problematic. So once again, just know that it's this person's lifestyle rather than their intelligence, rather than their innate characteristics that are making them like this, okay? So it's not a conscious choice. They don't choose to be like very superficial. It's just something that they grew up with, and it's just the way their life is playing out. It might be very different from you. You are an earth sign, so most of you tend to like live a very sedentary life. This is the card of like the ultimate nomad, okay? This is somebody who collects experiences. So for those of you who are single and dating, you might encounter somebody with this energy. Just be a little bit careful, because I don't feel they have enough insight to fulfill you emotionally long term, okay? So they're kind of like bouncing through life and kind of like having many experiences, and kind of like checking off their bucket list, and they don't really care who they leave behind or who they get with in the future. So just be careful with that energy if you are out there dating. As for your hopes and aspirations, what I do see here is the Queen of Coins in the reverse position. So especially for female Virgos, what I sense here is this person is going to this person is like the opposite, the opposite of what you ultimately stand for, okay? So this is basically, a lot of you might be grappling with this energy as a sense of inner conflict, in that you want the means, and you want to be able to collect life experiences too, and to also like ultimately, start checking off and doing things on your bucket list, okay? Because you are admiring this other person. You might not have the means to do it, or you might not have like the courage to really step out of your comfort zone in order to live the way this person lives, because ultimately you feel that, their life is really fun, is very exotic, it's just very enticing. However, there are financial constraints on your end. There are also like emotional constraints, and you might be feeling, in general that your values, the way you live your life in general, is not conducive for this type of excitement. So a lot of you might be grappling with this, or a lot of you might be, saving up that nest egg, like saving up money in order to have this long term. So either way, I feel that that timing is everything here. So this Mercury in retrograde period is going to force you to look within and realize what it is that you are ultimately doing. Like if the job that you have is right for you, if the friends in your midst are the right people who can contribute to your higher self, to your own emotional growth, spiritual growth. So there is a period of re-examination here. It's kind of like a midlife crisis, but I do feel that this energy is there for a reason, so that you can reassess and formulate a plan as to like where you are and what you want to do and how you can get there. Okay. A lot of you might not have a problem with this, but I do feel that the things that you grew up wanting might be a little bit different this week, mainly because of the Mercury in retrograde period. It is going to give us a false sense of like illusion. Okay, so like disillusionment with our current lifestyle, and it could also bring in like an air of impulsiveness. So a lot of you might want to break out of your shell and be this unconventional person, to be this world traveler, for example, or just somebody who blazes through life and collects experience. So a lot of you find this very, very attractive. If you are dealing with this as an external energy, you might encounter somebody like this who is very enticing, who's just really exotic, who travels from far away. So just keep in mind that it is a very transient energy. If this person is coming in, or if this energy is coming in which, it rattles you and you want to be like this, it's not a stable energy. So, be aware of it, okay? And be careful with it. So don't make rash decisions for this week. And this is a very good card here. We have the star in the upright position. Okay, so what I sense here at the heart of it is, the star is ultimately that wish card, okay? And the star and the Nine of Cups, they're both wish cards, but the star indicates like the big picture, the long-term plans, okay? So a lot of you have made sacrifices, have forgone like immediate, I guess like immediate pleasures for long-term gains. And just know that you are definitely on the right track. Whatever you've been doing it the right way, because in comparison, we're looking at this person who is like scarred by life, but they pick themselves up and they move on, and that's because they're lacking in a lot of like introspection. They're lacking in that whole process in which you have to learn from your experiences. You can't just collect them for just to be a collector. You also have to reflect on them and know if they're good for you long term, okay? So while this lifestyle is ultimately very exciting, it is not conducive for anything long term, okay? So whatever you've been doing, you are on the right track. And basically the advice here is would you rather be somebody who is reliable, who is, who is always there when others need them, or who is always there and can be counted on by loved ones, family members? Would you rather have that, or would you rather be, known as a flake, known as somebody who bounces around and who doesn't have like good insights, okay? So ultimately it is like a, a conflict between your own sets of values versus somebody else that you might look up to, that you might admire, okay? So just know that whatever you're doing is appropriate for you, and whatever they're doing is appropriate for their value system and their lifestyle. So it's not really fair to compare and contrast, or even like to say one life is better. It's just based on the person that is living it, okay? So keep that in mind and don't lose your sense of self. All right.